Hi, my name is Russell Della Peña, and I'm the founder of PushButtonInvestor.com. And in this video, I'm going to share with you the three pillars, the three key ingredients that you must have in your business to not only succeed, but to thrive in your business, to be able to scale it up and grow it. These are the three key core pillars, secrets, ingredients, however you want to call it, that you've got to have if your business is going to be enjoyable, if it's going to give you the financial and time freedom that you absolutely want and deserve. So let's start with the first pillar. The first pillar is that you've got to decide what niche you're going to be in your business, who you're going to serve specifically. Now, for real estate wholesale investors, there's lots of different folks, different sellers that you can help in different ways. For me, my specific niche is helping for sale by owners, FSBOs, and also landlords by creating creative seller financing deal structures, no money down deals. And so my niche, if you will, is the lease option niche. I focus on that. I've mastered it. I've become an expert in it, and even known for helping people in this specific niche for a reason. One, because the better I can get at getting results for people in this area, the more I'm seen as the expert in that specific niche. If you're a jack of all trades, you become kind of a master of none. You become, it's not clear to people what exactly you do and who exactly you help. And so the temptation is to, whenever you get a lead, it's to try to, help them in different ways, or help people in any kind of area or situation that they're in. And I personally try not to do that. I try to focus in on just a select group of folks. So for me, it's landlords and FSBOs, for sale by owner. Those are my target market, who I'm trying to help. They're my niche. That's the traffic that I'm looking to get. And so I would say pillar number one is really identifying who you really want to help, who's your traffic, who's a specific avatar of client that you want to help. When you identify that, again, you become very intimate with that particular prospect. When you get on the phone, you speak with a cadence and a tonality that makes you the expert in their eyes, and makes you the only logical solution for what they need. So again, the first pillar here is to identify who exactly you're going to be helping. I don't try to help distressed properties, for example, distressed sellers with properties where they're going into foreclosure, there's probate, they're going to file bankruptcy. I don't work in that specific niche. I found a niche that was a fraction of the work and far easier, and that's in lease options, or also known as rent to own. The second pillar that you want to identify and hone in on is creating an irresistible offer for the niche that you're going to be working with. So in my example, I've got a no money down offer, which is great for me, but more importantly, in this offer, I'm providing a full asking price for the seller. So in the case of the distressed sellers and probate and foreclosure, etc., we both know that you can't offer them their full asking price, but I can when I'm working specifically with my lease option or rent to own sellers, but for sale by owner and the landlord who's willing to sell rent to own. I can offer them their full asking price without charging any kind of commissions whatsoever. And I can close in 7 to 14 days. I don't need 30 or 60 or 90 days to close. And they can, as long as they can accept terms, and that's the key right here, right? So they've got to be able to accept terms. As long as they can accept terms instead of all cash today, I can create an irresistible offer. I can create an offer that'll allow them to say yes to me. 1 out of 3 offers that I make. So 1 out of 3 sellers will say yes to me versus 100 sellers that I've got to pitch a lowball offer to. I can now just make 1 out of 3 offers and get 1 out of 3 saying yes to me. That's what makes it an irresistible offer. An offer that's irresistible in my definition is something where the seller is saying, I'd be crazy to say no to this specific offer. This is a really, really good offer. And even though I'm never going to meet this seller face to face, because I'm doing my business 100% virtually. I'm finding and controlling and profiting from real estate that I never see, and working with sellers and buyers that I never meet. I've got to have an irresistible offer. It's got to be irresistible, even though they might be concerned with, is this a scam? Is this guy going to rip me off, etc.? So in my entire offer, I create and remove I create an irresistible offer and I remove all the risk. That's what makes it irresistible. So the third and final pillar that you've got to have, so you've got to have, let's just recap real quick. So you've got to have the perfect traffic. You've got to have the offer that's irresistible. And the third one is you've got to have the ability to ethically and honorably persuade this seller, this niche seller, to take action with you. So it's not enough to have a lead. It's not enough to have an irresistible offer. You've also got to have the phone skills, the communication skills, the ability to communicate in an ethical and non-manipulative, non-deceitful way that you can genuinely help this seller get exactly what they want. If you can prove that to them beyond a shadow of a doubt, they'll sign up with you. And so you've got to master the ability to close over the phone, because you're never going to see or meet the buyer or seller. You've got to be able to do that actually with the seller and buyer. You've got to be able to persuade them over the phone that you are the only logical solution for their problem. If there's no problem, then you really aren't going to be able to close any kind of deal, because if there's no problem, if there's no pain, there's no sale. So you've got to have those three key pillars in place to be able to not only have success in your business, but thrive financially and in time freedom as well. So to recap, you've got to have you have to have identified your dream, ideal target seller and buyer that you can serve with your eyes closed, with your arms tied behind your back, somebody that you're going to focus in on, become the expert, the go-to guy or gal that is an expert in serving this specific niche, not trying to be a jack of all trades to everybody, because that makes you too broad and people are confused as to what you do. People have to be real clear as to what you can do. The second thing is you've got to have an irresistible offer. You have to have an offer, especially if you're going to do like what I do and what I teach my mentor students on how to persuade somebody over the phone. If it's real difficult to do pillar number 3, which is the art of persuasion over the phone, if your offer stinks, right? So the problem that most folks that I have dealt with or have spoken to before they got started with us in our mentor program is that, number one, they had a real difficult time trying to figure out how they were going to get seller leads in the first place. So getting a lead was just extremely difficult. They were doing crazy things like hanging up illegal bandit signs on the weekends and taking them down on Sunday night. They were going to networking events, passing out cards where no one really cared about your card. They just cared about giving you their card. They did expensive mailers or postcards, everything snail mail, driving around town looking into properties, hoping they could find some kind of a vacant property. Just crazy old school ways of doing things. And then if they did get a lead, then they had to make the lead a lowball offer. If the seller wanted a $200,000 asking price, they would have to offer them, to make the deal work, they had to offer them $100,000 or $150,000 at best. Maybe a little bit more. But the point is they had to offer them less than what the seller wanted. So that's why they've got to go through 100 sellers just to get one deal under contract. But imagine if you could offer each seller that you talk to, each and every single seller, their full asking price. In fact, you'd add your fee on top of their asking price. How? Because you're spreading this sale or the option to buy this property over 1 to 3 years. So there's no appraisal today. Imagine if you can structure deals to where the seller is doing the showings for you. The seller is doing the open house for you, and you're just controlling the entire transaction from the comfort of your own home. And then imagine being able to speak with confidence over the phone and do it in an ethical and a moral way, but show them, look, I really have the solution for your problem. I can really help you in what you need to accomplish. You've got a financial cancer. I'm the financial doctor that's going to cut open your brain. I'm going to pull out the financial cancer. I'm going to leave a scar on your head. But you know what? At the end of that, you're going to thank me because I saved you from having to pay double payments and foreclosing and destroying your credit, and from feeling the failure and pain of foreclosure. So even though I'm going to cut open your brain and leave a scar, I'm going to remove the financial cancer. I'm going to solve your problem, and you're going to feel great about it. You're going to thank me for it. And I'm going to collect the lion's share of the option fee too. And you're still going to thank me for it because I saved you from a greater and bigger problem, far worse than me taking the majority of the option fee, which I absolutely deserve. Think about it. If you're going to sell your property in a traditional way, you'd hire a realtor or two realtors actually, that you're going to pay probably around 6% total for them to do that. In this case, I'm not a realtor. I'm not going to take any of your equity. You get to keep your equity, but I do get paid and compensated very well for what I do. The skill I've got of this financial brain surgery, if you will, just like expensive brain surgeon gets paid very, very well for what they do, their skill, that's what you get paid for. So hopefully this has helped you to put into perspective the value that you bring, and also the keys, the three pillars that you've got to have in place. You've got to identify who's my target market, what's my irresistible offer, and you've got to be able to effectively communicate that over the phone. If you're unable to do all three of those things, your business is going to struggle. And if you've got any questions on how to do that, or if you're interested in learning more about my mentor program, click the appropriate link somewhere on this page, probably below this video or to the side of it. Click that, schedule a call with me today. There's no pressure ever. I do everything ethically and morally when I'm speaking with folks, and I'll show you a path to really honing in on those three major pillars. So that way you never have to worry about where you're going to get leads again from. You're never going to never have to worry about what to offer them. And you're never going to feel a lack of confidence on how to convey that over the phone. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.